Welcome to Fantastic Realm. This week we've got a new story arc for Spider-Man. We've got massive revelations in Daredevil. We check out the new replacement for Superman, and Commissioner Gordon is doing it for himself. The Amazing Spider-Man 589. This is the start of a new story arc, and you needn't worry. Just because John Romita Jr. isn't drawing this one doesn't mean the quality's dropped off at all. The new artist for this story arc, Paulo Siqueira, and I hope I've got that right, is a very, very competent guy, and this is a very great looking book. There's lots of good stuff happening in this one. So we see the return of an old enemy in the shape of the Spot, but how bad a guy is he? Really, we're about to find out. And there's so much good stuff in terms of there's great action, really some funny punchlines, some really funny moments in this book, and a couple of really touching moments as well. So if you haven't been following Spider-Man, certainly worth picking up, because this is a new story arc. And if you're worried that the quality might drop off because of the absence of Romita Jr., then don't worry. This is a very, very good book and well worthy of your attention. Spider-Man 589 on your shelves this week. This is Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, issue 117. This is the second part of the Return of the King storyline, and after a very kind of almost like gut-wrenching, heartstring-pulling issue of pretty much the Kingpin on his own, we see his return to New York. And what's he here for? What's going on? The cover suggests that maybe the relationship between Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and the Kingpin has kind of thawed a little bit. You know, I don't want to blow it for you, but you've got to read this book, because Brubaker, as he does, has paced it beautifully, and the last page is a revelation and a setup so big that it's worth the price of admission by itself. So make sure you check this out. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. This is part 2 of the Return of the King storyline, issue number 117. It's on your shelves this week. This is the Commissioner Gordon one-shot as part of Battle for the Cowl. In the absence of the Batman, what are all of the supporting characters going to do? How are they going to protect Gotham from the many threats that face it? We'll see a little bit of that as Commissioner Gordon tries and struggles to come to terms with the fact that the Batman isn't going to just drop through the roof and save him, as has happened so many times in the past. Commissioner Gordon has to deal with Mr. Freeze by himself, and how does he cope? Will he be able to cope at all? We find out in this issue, and it's well worth checking out, especially halfway through this. You just think, Commissioner Gordon, you are just so lame, and he manages to pull it out of the hat. So this is well worth checking out, especially for Bat fans. This whole Battle for the Cowl thing is going to be one of the biggest kind of comic events of the year, I'm sure, so make sure you get involved. This is the Commissioner Gordon one-shot. It's out now. So this is issue 686 of Superman, and whilst Gotham is struggling to come to terms with no Batman, it's the world that suffers in the absence of Superman. As we find out in this book, how has Superman prepared the world for his absence? At least he knew his enforced absence was coming, and we see a little bit of what he's been doing to kind of set up Metropolis and the world for protection in his absence. Mon-El is going to basically take his place, and we see how that gets set up with supporting characters like the Guardian and Steel's coming back into this one as well. So if you've got any interest in the world of Superman, this has been good fun so far for a first issue. Even though it says Superman, he's barely in it at all, but it's well worth you checking out issue 686 Superman on your shelves this week. Really good week for comic books this week, with loads of other stuff worthy of your attention. If you like your stories labyrinthine and complicated, then check out X-Force and Cable, The Messiah War, Chapter 1. Dark Reign continues in the shape of issue 4 of War Machine, which has been great so far. There's also more Dark Reign action in the shape of Incredible Hercules issue 1, number 127. The Umbrella Academy hits issue number 5. Gerard Way and Gabriel Barr continue the great work. If you haven't had enough Dark Reign action already this week, then check out the Thunderbolts versus Deadpool in Thunderbolts issue 130. The Fantastic Four, the run by Miller, Hitch and Smith, continues in issue 565. That's been great so far. Silver Surfer returns, part 3 of 4 in Scar, Son of Hulk. This is issue 9 of that book, and it's deep, well underrated, very good book at the moment. One of my new favourites at the moment, issue number 23 of Nova, Protector of the Universe. That's on your shelves this week. Ex Infernus, the 4-part mini-series, comes to a close this week as issue number 4 hits your shelves. Dark Reign continues in the Mighty Avengers, issue number 23. The Immortal Iron Fist, issue number 24 is on yourself. More kung fu action with Danny Rand. Loads of great comic books, well worthy of your attention. Lots of good stuff to check out. You can buy any of the books we reviewed at fantasticrealm.co.uk, and don't forget to quote the code FAN1 to get yourself a 10% discount. You can also check us out at our eBay store and see more videos, or join our online communities at Facebook, MySpace and YouTube. We've now launched the Fantastic Realm video podcast on iTunes, so feel free to add a comment about this video below, and don't forget you can drop by the store to check out what we've got in stock.